So how do
Blog
I
Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Lena Jones Diamond Network Show. This is the place where you and your business are the stars. Now welcome your host, Lena Jones.
Hello, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? Welcome to the Lena Jones Diamond Network Show. I am here with my daughter tonight, so she's going to be kind of like co-hosting and talking in the background and making a whole bunch of noise. So if you hear a whole bunch of noise and stuff, that's her. So if you want to say hello, she's known as T, just plain T. Right?
Right.
Okay. So we're going to talk about lupus tonight. This is my special. I'm talking about something that touches everyone. You know, we really don't think about stuff until it happens to us. So that's where our conversation is going to be on tonight. And before we dive right into it, let's just loosen up a little bit because this is hard for me, and I'm pretty sure it's hard for my daughter too, because it's something she's been wanting to do for a couple of years, and she just haven't. She haven't had the courage to do it. Put it that way. Matter of fact, we got into an argument about her doing it yesterday because
I had a moment.
I did that. She was not feeling these pictures, even though they're not the worst of the worst. She's telling me to put the worst of the worst up there online, to put them out there, but I don't know if I'm going to really put them out there. I don't know if I really want to go ahead and do that. I don't know if I really want to go ahead and do that, but we have to see. But before we start talking about it, I want to do a little bit of knowledge, drop some knowledge, and have her comment on it. If you're new to the show, this is just every so often I have some type of special that I do. And this month just happened to be about lupus and the awareness of it, because I've been with my daughter. We've been out to places where people have, looked at her funny, and I've seen the looks, and as a mother, that's not easy. But for a long time, I was in denial, and I was in denial. I'll tell you why I was in denial, because before my daughter left to go to California, we didn't see, there was nothing wrong with her face. She just nothing. She went out to California for 2 years, 3 years, and she came back, and I'm just like, whoa, you can't tell me that this can't be cured. I'm mama, and I'm not going to believe that this is something that can't be cured. So it was hard for me to do that. So we're going to, get a little bit personal. As long as me and her don't get into an argument. She is my daughter. And if you have a daughter, you would know exactly what I mean, Sometimes we're good. Majority of the times we're good. But most of the time, there are times where there will become disputes. One of them was my dispute about lupus. I was in denial. I was in denial about it for a very long time. When she was in the hospital and to that sort, I had a hard time, mainly because
doctors say one thing, one doctor says one thing, another doctor says another.
Yeah.
Very complicated to see.
And so that was really hard for me to, especially when there was a point where she had she was high risk, and the doctors were saying that she needed to talk to, does she have a will and all that sort of stuff, and that was hard for me to swallow, because I tried to teach my daughters to be strong. Strength runs in the female, and the male. But as females, we my family, we believe in being strong, not weak. We're not weak, and we don't back down. And it's not too much really that scares us. I have to turn down my background music. And so it was hard for me to swallow this pill that I had this daughter who appeared to me to be weak, that wasn't weak before she left and before all this stuff happened. And here she is believing one thing that the doctors are saying and she's going to die. And, prayers were going up. And it was just a little crazy at one point um, of the lupus. So I'm going to tell you what lupus is in case you don't know what it is. I looked up a couple of things, and lupus is a disease of the immune system that causes the body to make healthy tissues for harmful intruder. It looks at those healthy tissues like they're intruder, and they attack it. It can damage parts of the body. It is defined as chronic, meaning symptoms occur for a long time or they happen repeatedly. Discoid lupus affects the skin, causing red, scaly rashes and raised borders on areas of the body that are exposed to sunlight. I know one of the things she was telling me, she can't be in the sun, without wearing a big old floppy hat and stuff like that. And she constantly wears sunglasses that are pretty much bigger than her face. It's like the bigger the sunglasses, the more she wears them. And the overview of that is what she has is two different kinds of lupus. There's the systemic lupus, SLE. This is the most common form of lupus, affecting joints, muscles, various tissues and organs in the body, which she has that as well. She has the effect of those muscles and joints. Sometimes her body just hurts, And then you have the CLE, which is the discoid lupus. It's the most common type. It is an autoimmune disease, which means the immune system mistakenly identifies its own tissue as foreign and mounts an attack on it. A healthy immune system will fight viruses and bacteria. Some of the symptoms is a rash that can appear, or a number of in the areas. It's most likely to appear in areas of the skin that are regularly exposed to sunlight, such as the face, the neck, the back, and the hand. There are usually no symptoms, but some people may feel a pain or itch or sores. The other conditions is very similar to discoid lupus is the plaque psoriasis or eczema. The causes of lupus is it's kind of a mystery. It's like the forms of lupus, discoid lupus, do not have one clear cause. It's impossible that hormones, genetic factors that plays a place and environmental triggers can still play a part in the development of the disease. Or what?
We grew up in California.
Yeah, we did. They did grow up in California, Orange County, always in the sun.
Yeah.
People with family history of lupus or other diseases of the immune system. Now, that's the thing with it doesn't. No one in my family's ever had this. So that's another reason when she was saying.
The doctors were asking you on the phone if anyone had it. Remember?
Yeah.
The doctors wanted to know. They kept saying it has to be someone in our family who has it, and the same rash that you have on your back. Remember, they were saying, well, that your mom needs to be tested for discoid, and I think it comes and it goes. It's kind of like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
And which didn't test out to be lupus when they did the biopsy on it. But I had discoid first, and he said it was a very rare chance that I was going to have systemic, and that developed when I became pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's when I was done. So.
That's when it became at its worst.
Yeah.
It says women make up more than 90% of people with lupus.
Minorities.
Yeah, minorities, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, all of those are more more at risk for lupus, and anywhere between the ages of 20 and 50 years old. Those are the dangers of it. Treatment aims to prevent sores, limit scarring, and make the skin look healthier. Without treatment, discoid rash will often worsen. So you have ointments, hydrocortisones, and all types of treatments that you can do. Now, I'm going to have my daughter tell us about something that she experienced today, which is nothing new, but it depends on the reaction of different people. So go ahead and talk about what happened today.
I was in a hardware store. You're wearing off on me. You're, I was in the hardware store buying Drano for my sink, and a lady walked down the aisle several times, and then finally at the end of the aisle, she yells, "Oh my goodness, what happened to your face?" Literally, the three people in the aisle turned around and looked at me and said, "Is she serious?" And I just smiled and said, "I'm used to it." She walks over to me and says, "What happened to your face? Did you get burned? It doesn't look like it belongs in your face." I get that a lot. And I said, "I have lupus." And she said, "Oh my God, I didn't know lupus did that. Where can I look it up? How can I get the information?" And it was just a very uncomfortable moment, which I'm used to. And she just kind of yelled it in the store. So I felt very uncomfortable. And it's hot. So when it's hot and I walk to the store, I'm a little bit more flared up than usual. My face turns red. So just wasn't the best timing, but I handled it the best way I could. I wasn't going to sit there and let her look up lupus. She wanted me to spell it out and pulled out her phone and wanted me to go through it, and I just kind of just walked away gradually, nicely with a smile.
And, the thing about it, with it affecting African Americans, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, or Native American, it can cause kidney disease, stroke, heart disease in women of childbearing age. So that's why during her pregnancy it became really, really critical at that moment, because yes, she could have lost her life, and I could have lost a daughter. We don't really bring that up much in the family because that was a hard time for me, and it was even harder for her because she was living through it. Okay. There's different type of medicines, and we talked about that. Now, how did you feel when they told you lupus? Because it starts with a butterfly type thing on her face. So what made you? When did you discover? What were you doing? Did you go to the doctor and they just said it, or what happened?
I will never forget. We were actually still stationed at Quantico in Northern Virginia, and I ate chicken wings. I'll never forget. And I started with these two little dots. They turned red on my cheeks. I went to Fairfax Hospital. They gave me Benadryl, and they said, you have an allergic reaction to maybe it might be too spicy, too hot. And they just gave me a bunch of Benadryl IV. And then went back, and slowly just little dots came, and my husband would say, "Oh, it looks like you're getting freckles." And it just slowly took a couple of years that we got stationed in California, and I was at the beach drinking and fell, broke my nose. Don't ask me how. I'm extremely clumsy. Broke my nose, ended up in ICU, and woke up 3 days later, and that's when kind of I found out that I had lupus, and my life literally changed, and that was September 21st, 2010. I'll never forget that date because they were just going to pop my nose back in place at Cap Pendleton Hospital, and because I was too baby for them to do it while I was up. So it was literally supposed to be a 15-minute surgery where they put me to sleep and pop it back into place. And something happened. I had a seizure during the procedure, and woke up a couple of days later in ICU, and that's kind